influencers that we follow to stay on top of the trend. And then there are the OG influencers that actually got this trend going. Today on the podcast with me is one such content creator who now helps others put content into their creatives. UAE's one of the first influencers and CEO and founder of her own company xNDigitize, Naomi Dsouza. Thank you so much for joining me today, Naomi.
I love that description. How cute, making me blush. The start of the podcast itself.
Yes, and that's what I was saying, right? When I first logged into Instagram, you were one of the few people out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously she is the OG content creator that that I know of at least.
Yeah, thank you.
So Naomi, like I was telling you, when I first started my podcasting journey, which was around 3 years back, you were one of the first people I reached out to because, like I said, for all the obvious reasons, I wanted to make sure I have the legit people, and I think at that point in time you were busy, and but you replied back, very sweet of you. You replied back and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm busy with a lot of other stuff, and I hope I can come back to this."
Yeah.
And 3 years later, here we are.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, it finally turned out, right? And I think even this time it was like when you messaged, I was in Italy and I was like, I cannot do it right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, we finally locked in a date and we're here.
Yeah, I know it takes time. All you guys are so busy, so difficult to get through to so many projects one after another.
Oh my God, don't say that.
So, it's been quite a ride for you. You've started being an influencer. You've set up your own company. You've actually gone ahead with this journey. You've taken it, beyond just influencing. Can you briefly take us through your journey?
I did not foresee becoming a content creator or influencer, as it's coined by the media when I started off.
So when you started out, you didn't have the term?
No, I think the media coined the term influencer. I think none of us knew of that word, and no one would really call themselves that. And then it's weird how the media puts in the word, and then the media itself hates people for using that word, right? Because even when I got invited after I was coined an influencer, they would say, hey, you as an influencer, we'd like to invite you to so-and-so place. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm an influencer. But then everyone became an influencer.
Okay, so this is, I'm an influencer. But did you start out intending to do that?
No, 100% no, because I was just studying mechanical engineering.
Yes, I mean, that's quite the turnaround.
Yeah, and I studied engineering as well. I did my master's in oil and gas. And then after that, I got a job in a tech company, in a Fortune 500 company. So I was doing my master's because I already started that. I was halfway through. I couldn't leave it. So I was doing
Were you committed? Were you interested in what you were studying?
No. When I was an engineer, yes. But then when I realized I'm moving fields, I didn't have a choice but to finish it. Okay. So I was working as a digital strategy consultant, doing my master's, and the blog was just a passion. And then I randomly started getting invited to places because I think by word of mouth, people came to know that there's this crazy lady in town who's just having desserts all the time. I was just doing this out of pure passion. Yeah. Again, I didn't even know that blogging was a thing in Dubai.
Okay.
And then I started getting...
just posting, just sharing a happy moment.
Yeah, like how you share your vacation pictures online, right? Yeah. Literally in a similar fashion. Yeah. But somehow it picked up. Yeah. And but I was pursuing my career anyway.
So did you start out this blogging as following someone else? Did you get inspired?
No, I didn't even know. Actually, that's such a great question. No one's asked me that. Although I didn't know blogging was a thing, I didn't even know of any bloggers in Dubai.
In Dubai, of course.
Yeah, I just had no idea. I mean, I knew people were posting, but again, at that time, the word influencer was not that.
And there was no purpose as popular.
Exactly. So I was just posting, and then I started getting invited, and I was like, oh my God, wait, this person wants me to come and eat for free? And then someone asked me a few months later, what are your charges? And I'm like, someone wants to pay me for eating this cake?
Yeah. Wow, this looks good.
Yeah, this is great. But I mean, it was quite difficult as well because I couldn't really pursue it as much as other OG bloggers at that time because I had a full-time, and it was very, very, very difficult because I was going to Abu Dhabi every day, coming back to Dubai. So it was...
And then had to go in deserts.
So, yeah, and then I had to go eat desserts. But it's not just that. Sometimes I would even have campaign shoots after working from 7 to 7, then I would have shoots after that. And then if not shoots, I would have my masters and my my exams and assignments to fulfill.
Yeah.
So it was not something I focused on fully, but I do think having my full-time job as well gave me a lot of leverage, and that's how I got the opportunity to also be a TED speaker, speak at STEP conferences, be a panelist,
because you were working,
because I could share my experience of doing, of hustling my passion, as well as working at a job that was completely like polar opposites to what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think they were synonymous to each other, although they weren't really in technical terms.
Yeah. But, did you at any point think that, okay, this is not what I want, but I'm just stuck here? But
Stuck
it's interesting
with what?
With your engineering career.
No,
but
so
it's
engineering I left.
It's a good point, right? That, when you discover something else that gives you more, it's not that you're, completely abandoning it. In your sense, you didn't abandon it. You saw it through, you did your master's, you actually worked in that sector until you discovered this and, took this up full time.
Yeah, so engineering got way too monotonous. It was too monotonous.
This is what we hear a lot.
Exactly. I know everyone says it's so exciting, and it really was, because I was doing mechanical engineering, so it was quite exciting in the beginning because I was learning new things all the time. But it got a bit too monotonous for me because there's not too much R&D that happens at that time in the city. And I was, a junior as well, so probably that had something to do with it. But it got too monotonous, and I wanted to do something more in the creative industry where I would have to actually come up with strategies, be a consultant, help clients. So then I moved. So I did feel stuck at engineering. But then when I was in consultancy for a good 2+ years, I worked in consulting for about 5 years-ish. So at that time, I felt like, oh my God, what am I doing? Because I'm neither here nor there. I loved being in a tech company, a tech role, being in the STEM field, being a woman in STEM as well. I think
you don't
that holds
see many women in mechanical engineering.
That holds a lot of value. But at the same time, I loved the media industry. I loved shooting. I loved videography. I loved photography. So what I did was, in some of the projects that we had with clients, I would kind of enforce that and put new things in that scope of work.
Wow. So you would try to blend it in how you could.
I actually did. And the clients were actually pretty happy and impressed with the stuff that we brought to the table. So it was quite nice. Until COVID hit, and then it's a different story.
So you were working at IBM till COVID hit?
No, so I worked at IBM for 2.5, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then I moved to Publicis Group, so Publicis Sapient.
Okay, and then when did you start xNDigitize? When did you think that, this is a good time to, launch? What does xNDigitize do to begin with?
It was not even 1.5 years ago. So I started in May. Actually, maybe 1.5 now. I started in May last year.
What did you do?
So it's a marketing company. We help brands find their space in the digital space, because quite often many brands rely only on influencers to create content and then repost the same. But although being an influencer, like, I believe that, the brand needs to have their own brand values, their own branding as well, and their own types of typography, photography, videography. And that's something that wasn't prominent, in my opinion, with many places that I have seen. So we wanted to bring a fresh perspective and have Gen Zs and millennials involved to create those said content, right? Because I have seen a lot of marketing professionals who say, I have 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience, 10 years of experience even. But it really doesn't matter, because the whole social media landscape only changed after COVID. How people started consuming digital way, way more, right? People were glued to their phones and laptops, right? Even on Netflix.
And you say that's a bad thing, but still that's where a lot of people...
Exactly. It's a bad thing, but again, everything has moved online. Like, obviously at that time, even the biggest brands moved online, So I felt that, we would bring a fresh perspective to the industry and change things the way it is going. And touch wood, I have already seen that. And I think me, when I was a full-time, not full-time, I was working as well, but I'm saying when I was doing content.
So there was no phase where you were exclusively a content creator?
It was like barely a few months. So I wouldn't even say it was like maybe just 5 months or something like that, you know, where I decided I wanted to start my own company. So that process was licensing, figuring out things to do, what to do, the branding. So I was never actually wow, yeah, like I was never really a full-time,
but if you look at it, like, you know,
content
you've created
creator.
a career completely, like now you're doing xNDigitize,
Yeah.
all based out of that career that you hadn't probably, you know, spent so much time.
So I learned so much. And the thing is, starting the company as well, like I said in the beginning, I always wanted to merge the two, but I could not really do that. So starting the company as well, it's not only bringing the fresh perspective from a social media point of view, but I have the consultancy experience as well. So bringing in corporate, mixing it with creativity and fun is something I feel is quite difficult to do. And when you crack the code, you have obviously cracked it. So there's so many things that we're doing.
How was that step down? Like, you know, that step from moving from a completely corporate world, from an engineering field to something completely different? How was that leap of faith, if you may say?
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
I was
Setting
scared.
up a company is not easy. And alhamdulillah, we're able to do that primarily because you have all the facilities in Dubai. Let's face it, right?
I was really scared because I feel moving from a monthly stable income to not having a stable income, and you have to obviously pay your team, pay your people. So obviously everyone else comes first versus you. So it was quite difficult to take that leap of faith. But for me, it was like I rather fail trying than not try at all. Else I'll have this regret for the rest of my life.
And also, you were very young when you made that decision.
Oh yeah, I was. I mean, just to even think about it, you know, so it was quite difficult. I realized that, you know, I just wanted to take the leap and just do this, do new things, combine two industries. And I think doing that, finding that sweet balance has worked quite well.
So you've spoken, like, and many a times you've come online, you've come live on your stories, and you ranted about, you know, how consuming, how overwhelming, how, you know, in many like many of your posts, you know, how difficult it is to get the kind of engagement that you want, right?
Yeah.
So, and then to create a whole new company on that, how was that risk? Like, how do you actually face that kind of rejection? Or that kind of competition constantly?
I think what happened is when I started my business, algorithmically my Instagram started pushing out that content to me, right?
Yeah,
and I started getting those motivational quotes and those videos of
that
what
pumped you up.
Yeah, that Jeff Bezos is speaking about, what Bill Gates is speaking about, you know, what the Obamas talk about. So I feel I learned very quickly that rejection is part of the process. Like, even they get rejected. And sometimes I see even Shah Rukh Khan got rejected for roles. Who am I? You know, like, who am I? And sometimes I feel that, like, what I learned even from my life coach is that if someone rejects you, that means something better is coming. And it was really hard. It was really hard to...
That is what I want to know. It's easy for people, like, you know, you hear all of this all the time. But how hard is it to actually implement it and believe in it and work on it?
See, the thing is, I actually became conscious of conscious as in more aware of the bad stuff that was happening to me. That's how I realized that something good was to come. So sometimes, you know, for example, when you're going through something bad, you're like, okay, something good is happening. But when that good happens, people don't really be grateful or be conscious that it's happening, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, something is happening, and they just go along with it. I'm saying I noticed a pattern, and then that's when I realized, because we did lose 2-3 clients, not of any fault of our own, but something happened within their organization, so we lost it. So it was obviously something that my team and myself felt heavily. And then we felt bad, and I was like, okay, something good will come. So I not only manifested it, but I knew like, okay, that I knew deep down consciously that something good will happen. And then we signed like the biggest deal ever in like 2 months. After. So I'm just saying, like, to absorb it and just realize that, okay, this has happened because that happened. It just makes you be more patient when something bad happens, and you know, when you fail or when you get a rejection. So that's how I always think of it. If I get rejected, not meant for me right now, it will happen later. And it's happened now,
Yeah.
like fast forward to 1.5 years. I mean, it may seem like a very small duration to some companies, but like it is already happening.
For a startup, I think,
I am already noticing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that patience and that perseverance, okay, that it is coming, that is everything. There are many times like you see something is not working, just drop it at that.
Yeah.
But actually, there are many of these quotes which say, like, when I read all of these quotes and, Instagram, it has its way of pumping you up.
Yeah.
Just when you think you're
that's what the first thing I told you was algorithmically, everything started like coming to me.
So apparently, every company to reach its highest potential, it takes 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what it keeps pushing out to me. That's what it keeps telling me. But then again, I mean, like, that 5 to 10 years is easy to say, but to actually live those years, to bear the fruit, it's so difficult.
It's so difficult, yeah. And managing a team as well, like everyone has their own personalities, and I mean, no one is right or wrong, but I'm saying when you put multiple personalities together and trying to overcome it along with the client's personalities and their demands, like I think everything cumulatively makes it obviously quite challenging, but obviously once you get through it, you look back and you're like, I did that.
Yeah. And that is like, that feel gives you all the winner vibes, right?
100%.
So, how do you manage still being a content creator between all this? So do you feel you're taking away from that?
Wow, you're actually asking me very different questions. Now I know why you didn't ask me, like let me know. Guys, I actually asked her, can you give me the questions on what we're going to talk? And she's like, no, it's just going to be random. It's going to be fun conversations. And I'm like, now she's actually making me think. I think I feel content creation is not 100% me yet. Because I feel like...
Oh my God. Confession?
Because I feel many people thus far always thought that I was a content creator. Right? No one knew I had a full-time job. I moved from engineering, I moved to tech, etc., etc. And even now, like, I own a company. So I just feel that for me, the business obviously comes first. Like, I term it as XND and ND. ND as in me, so and it's xNDigitize. ND comes under xND, right? So although
it comes under xND.
Yeah, it does. I mean, legally in terms of like licensing or whatever, if I may. But I do focus a lot on content creation because I do love it and I do it out of passion, and I feel that's why the content is real, if that makes sense. It's not like I would just be creating content just for monetary compensation all the time, if that makes sense. So my main focus is being the CEO of my business and building it up, and then using my platform to spread awareness about the same and what I always do, and the content creation being just me. So right now, that's why it's taken a back seat, because the business is taking priority for now. And I think I just want to be known as an entrepreneur, not specifically, like Naomi, the food blogger or the content creator, because I just feel I do more. And I do more on the business front as well. I'm not saying I'm not a content creator. I'm just saying I don't want to be known
for the brands on xNDigitize.
I don't.
You don't.
I actually don't.
Mix work.
No. So people actually ask, right? Like, are you involved? Yes, I am involved as an entrepreneur, as a founder, and as of like knowing intuitively what's good for your brand and by research. But I'm not coming in as Naomi Dsouza, the influencer. That is a separate thing, and it's a separate chat to have. So even if you see xNDigitize's page, minus October where it was my birthday and stuff, I also avoid being the face of the brand because I'm not. Like, xNDigitize is the team. The team makes the company successful. It's not me, So yes, you can speak of me as, okay, Naomi Dsouza is this, but I feel if it's just like, oh, she's a content creator, like some have just said, oh yeah, she's just a content creator, and I'm like,
no, there's more.
So that's where I'm coming from. I love being a content creator. I love creating content, but that's how the company began as well.
So how long have you been creating content now? 7
years? I think 7 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a long time.
Yeah.
And how have you changed? How have you seen the landscape of social media changing over time? Because when you, like, from where you first started posting pictures to creating reels to actually bringing a lot of your personal content also.
Yeah. I think it's changed a lot. I think when I started off, everything was DSLR.
Yes.
Right? Everything was DSLR.
The high quality
I got
pictures.
an expensive camera, and at that time, iPhones as well weren't the best quality, right? In pictures. So it started with that, and then it started moving
you went full on. You went professional, getting.
Oh yeah, I went full on because like I loved it. Like I said, it is my passion. I really love it. So even now, if I had the time, I would 100% do more. And sometimes I feel bad that I can't do more. So I went all out. So it started with DSLR, and then after that, Reels weren't even there.
Yes,
right?
I remember.
So it was all static content.
Yeah, when I saw first, when Reels were first introduced, I'm like, it's so tricky. Like, who would want to do this?
It was all static content, right? So at that time when it moved to like 10-second videos or something like that, because Instagram wanted to do something similar to
before
Vines.
Reels, they had just these small videos as well.
But it was within, because after that I think it became carousel content.
Yes.
So it was so difficult to keep adapting and changing because I was so accustomed to static posts.
But what do I do with my camera now?
Exactly, right? And then after that, Reels. And at that time, I felt like how, you know, our grandparents feel when they're like, beta, teach me how to use the phone. Like, I felt at that time, I was like, what do I do? And I feel that's when I came to know, if you don't adapt to time and you change with time, the harsh truth is you are going to be left behind, right? People say, oh no, I just want to do static content. I'm a photographer. I'll do just this. But if you don't adapt, if you don't adapt, and that's what I've realized, I have seen it. It is the cutthroat reality. And then Reels came about, and then the new trend that started happening after COVID was sharing more natural content.
Natural
as in like
personal
real content. Like I did go through depression, right? And an anxiety disorder, and I shared that on my platform, and it was I was scared to post it because even my mom was like, why would you post something so publicly? But it also got taken really well by people, and I got so many DMs even now where people ask me to share therapists' numbers and all of that, that are affordable, right? It's because it's not a profitable thing where you can just make money, because people who have mental health problems, so many of them can't afford therapy. So
therapy
I posted that.
Expensive.
100%. So then I started posting that, and I saw it got the feedback was taken, like it was very positive. So then it started moving to real life content.
So where do you draw the line?
And now I'm noticing that, it's like the real life content as well. People used to take it in a DSLR. Now that's also gone. If you take something from a DSLR, that also won't be taken well because it's not real, right?
It's not real.
Who puts a camera, puts lighting, and then, you talk.
And then you show your emotion. That's not real for sure.
So I think to answer your question about drawing a line, it becomes very difficult, right? It becomes very difficult because after that I got married, right? I got married to my husband, and he was like, oh, like, aren't you sharing a little too much? And I'm like, yeah, it is quite difficult to draw that line. So it feels like if you're not sharing something real, people may deem you as not real. But if you're not like, if you're sharing too much, they may say, why are you sharing too much? Or they may obviously appreciate what you are sharing. But the thing is, I think as much as I share, people sometimes do think I overshare, but I actually don't, because you actually don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You don't know what happens in my life. When was I in the hospital, etc., etc. If someone from my family was sick, so you just don't know what you don't know. So I've just kept it at that. So I share what I can.
It's a very tricky space because now, like you said, after COVID, a lot of people, like when you say people have moved towards natural content, everybody wants to see your real life. Nobody is actually exclusively interested in the restaurants you post and the makeup you use. Everybody is curious to know.
Sorry to cut you. That was, by the way, another reason why I stepped back. Because someone told me, including my mom, that I started off 7 years ago, but my follower base who started following me at that time, they have grown with me. So they don't want
you in that journey.
they don't want to see that much food either. So I started noticing when I was posting food, okay, yes, I was getting engagement, but in comparison, when I post some corporate racism or depression or couple problems, when I started posting more of that, or my successes, my obstacles, how I got through it and achieved so and so, it started just gaining so much more traction. And I obviously want to give people what they want. And again, I'm not getting paid for either of this. So sometimes people think it's commercial, but I'm
True,
really.
right?
You thought that as
Yeah.
well. Remember, I'm not getting paid. Like, I'd be richer than Kim Kardashian then, okay? Like, I'm not
The
getting
kind of offers
paid.
you're getting, yeah.
I'm not getting paid.
That's a disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm really not. So sometimes when I tell people it's not sponsored or I'm not getting paid, they think I'm getting paid to say I'm not getting paid. I'm like,
This is like the Joey situation.
I'm like, there's no satisfying you, is
Yeah.
it? I rarely get paid for restaurant reviews.
I'm surprised
Sometimes
because I know,
never.
we run restaurants and we reach out to like influencers and they charge money to her. I'm not saying
So I have, right? I have said 100%, 100%. But I think what has happened is
a charge sheet.
yeah, like I can't believe I'm saying this, but like
It's going to be a violation.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but for example, some restaurants, right, that do approach and they force, for example, oh my God, please come,
Yeah.
whatever. I will give my rates, but my point by saying I barely get paid is also the fact that they don't want to pay. So it's not like I'm not saying that, hey, these are my rates. I won't get paid. And I've kind of accepted that. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like kind of accepted that because food blogging, there are way better food bloggers than me in the industry.
Oh.
Right?
Being honest?
Yeah, they're way better food bloggers, the people who are just posting food. So in my head, I'm like, actually, yeah, okay, I'm doing my thing by giving my rates, but why would they pay me?
Yeah.
Why would they pay me? Again, it depends on the restaurant and what I'm posting and what I'm doing. It's not like I never post it. So it depends. But I also think that, okay, fine, if I have 100K plus following and if there are influencers and food bloggers who have lesser following than me, their engagement is still higher.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, brands should pay
Them.
influencers based on the genre.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't pay me. Like, I understand. So I think based off of that as well as a disclaimer, I don't get paid like for restaurant. I don't remember the last time I got paid to go to a restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the current crop of influencers versus like when you began? How different is it now?
I feel it's very difficult for someone to become a blogger right now. They need to, as in to be known, right? To be known, because everyone is doing something. Everyone is kind of considered as a blogger as well because it's become so easy to use.
Yeah.
So I feel it is easy to become one, but I feel it's very difficult to be known in the industry because of competition. And I think that holds true for...
Competition is fierce.
Yeah, and I think that holds true not just for blogging, even for like consultancies and agencies like myself. It is difficult because everyone is also creating an agency and trying to create merch and like products and so I feel the competition is fierce and saturated for almost every field right now. But
I think also in Dubai.
Yeah, it's difficult. So I'm saying with blogging as well, the same thing. So I feel it's very easy to become one, but it's very difficult to be known. And I think it's hard for it to also become full-time because there's so many others. And if they come up with a niche, something different, you can get replaced any second. So I feel that's how...
to stay consistent for 7 to 8 years.
Thanks for saying that. I feel I'm so inconsistent now.
No, I mean, like, in terms of being there as a blogger, as an influencer, obviously, like, you are always on top of the list.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for that. but I do have to do more. So I feel, although I did say that, my company does take precedence, which it is, because it is a business, I'm really learning every day on how to prioritize and make time for my passion, because it is my passion. I do love creating content and putting stuff out there.
Yeah, I love when you say that, you're at it, even after all these years, because you're so passionate about it.
That's what I'm saying. But I think that's what's different. That's why I think psychologically, I keep...
You're not aggressive.
No, but yeah, exactly. So I feel, but psychologically as well, I keep stuff over blogging. For example, my job was over blogging. And for example, my company is first and then it's blogging. I feel because it's second, it becomes a passion. Yeah, it's actually so deep.
Yeah, it is actually true, because I read this in another article where he was saying, like, when you have a passion, maintain it as a passion.
Yes.
Because the moment it becomes a job, then it becomes a commitment.
Yeah, so that short time for 5 months or something, when I was doing content creation, I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to wake up the next day and create that content because it became a job.
It becomes a job, and then you're like, you're forced to create content. You're saturated with ideas.
Yes,
it's true.
So I think
and
that's
I found
what
this
happened.
very interesting. The moment you make your passion your job, it doesn't become a passion anymore. It becomes a job.
Yeah, although
And
people
then,
can say whatever they have to, like it does feel like if you have a gig, you have to do it because you are like a freelancer, right? Like when you are a freelancer, it becomes more difficult. I mean, even as a business, like you have to take business, you have to earn your bread and butter. But yeah, I think because it's been second, I keep going back to it. I keep having that love for it.
Space.
Yeah, and it's not aggressive, like you said. I love that word. Yeah, it's not aggressive. It's just, it's my love.
I like the fact that, it's not, you are not in this race where you have to, post every day. You have to show that you're there.
Yeah.
Like, not on your feed every day, boring you at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like anything too much is actually puts you off, right?
I think it does make me envious though of other people who do so much.
Like, you're juggling so many hats.
Yeah. But I feel like my mom always says, Gandhi ji kehte the. Like it's wants and needs, right? You can't have it all. I forgot in Hindi how you say it. Now don't do that to me. Like, you can't have it all. Like, it's a need and a want thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a difference between that. So I think like that's what mom says. Like, it's okay. Like let other people have it.
Yeah. No, you cannot have everything.
You can't. You
just cannot.
But it's difficult. Like, I think a person who's overly ambitious, you're like, I want everything. You're like hungry for everything, and that's why you become envious. You're like, oh shit! Like, that person is doing everything. Or even I want to do that, but you can't do everything. And I'm trying to make my peace with it.
Yeah.
It's not there yet.
So also I want to ask you, like, you also get a lot of negative comments.
Oh God, yeah.
Right? And, like sometimes even when, as a viewer myself, I see the comment, even I want to react. I'm like, why be so brutal on social media? I mean, like, it's your page, you do your thing and you move. But, the kind of comments, the kind of judgments, how do you deal with that?
I don't deal. I don't deal with it. I think it depends. Some of them
Does that demotivate you? Or do you think are there times that you think, oh my God, if
it obviously does.
These are the kind of comments I'm getting, I might as well not do it.
See, I'm only human, so it does obviously affect me. Sometimes I may not say it. And there have been a lot of people as well who have actually come to me and been like, your page sucks. You're not how you used to be, or I'm unfollowing you. You used to post better content before.
Just to cut you there, I saw this a day before, and with all this conflict happening, a lot of people are unfollowing and all of that.
Yeah.
So and then there was this blogger who said, "I'm not an airport terminal. You don't have to tell me you're leaving."
You don't have to tell me you're leaving. Yeah, I think people just have high expectations from.
But it's your page, right?
Yeah, people have high expectations from celebrities, influencers, content creators. And like you said, even with the conflict going on, I know of so many people who are doing so much more and who are in authoritative figures versus people who are just shouting online. Yes, it is very important to spread awareness online, but don't hate that much, if that makes sense. There's already enough going on. So with the hate, I think I don't deal with it. Sometimes it depends on the comment. If the comment is really crude, you obviously try to self-reflect and go like, oh God, is that me? Yeah, 100%, right? It always does happen. And then I'll either cry about it, I'll either complain about it, I'll either reply, or I'll just ignore it. I think it goes through phases, and it depends on what the hate comment. Yeah, it all depends on what the hate comment is.
But what keeps you going, in spite of all that?
I think the passion, right? The passion. It's like, oh, okay, this is something. It's my happy space. I want to create. And that's what keeps me going. And then sometimes if I don't have enough motivation and I want to push, it would either be mom, my husband, or it would be my life coach. I'd be like, oh God, I can't do this. Why is it happening, etc., etc. And then, we kind of work around it. Okay, how can you get back to it? Yeah. What should you do to get back on it? And there are a couple of things that I do to, kind of re-navigate myself.
But then, you stay on top of it.
Yeah, but now as well.
You don't let that, pull you down.
Yeah, and now I think present tense, that you brought up the conflict. It's, for example, I was posting about the conflict for the longest time, obviously supporting Palestine. Yeah. And I've posted it so many times, even in Italy. And
Yes.
I stopped my Italy content as well, and I was posting it. And you won't believe it, I got a lot of hate that I'm not posting about it. But what people don't realize is, and I have evidence, is that when I was posting about it, I was only getting 800 views on my stories. But if I do post, for example, a trip, it'll go 6,000 plus views. So imagine when I'm posting about the conflict, I'm like
being viewed enough.
No, it's being blocked. Like some stories, Instagram was not even allowing me to post about it. So then I get hate. I'm like, WTF, right?
Yeah.
Like what, right?
Yeah.
And some influencers aren't even posting about it. Like, I think it's so
Very
important.
disappointing, yeah.
It's so important to talk about it. It's so important to post online. But when I was doing it, it's not reaching out.
Yeah.
And just because it's not reaching doesn't mean I'm not doing my part.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know how much I've donated in the background when I was abroad as well, and I was posting. So it's kind of like tone deaf. So I think a lot of the hate that I also receive is based off of that,
Yeah.
And so many people as well, they are like, oh, she's such a dumb influencer. She doesn't know how to do anything other than create content. I've gotten that hate as well. And in my head, I'm like,
So you've been through all kinds of hate, yeah?
I'm like, can you just go check my LinkedIn? In my head. But it's like, it's pointless. It's like you cannot make people happy. You just cannot. So you do your thing, stand on the right side of the world in a political situation, make your money, feed your people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And have a good heart. That's it.
Exactly. When that's what I saw, maybe like now that you say, but I've also seen a lot of people not even mention this conflict.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll mention it, but they'll not mention who they're supporting. They'll just say, all the killings, like, just don't do it.
Yeah. But there has to be
you have to stand aside.
You have to stand aside. You cannot be just in between, be neutral.
But that's what they say, right? If you are neutral in a situation like this, you are siding the oppressor. So it's, and yeah, people are just hating and hating and hating. I'm just like,
it's so easier, so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Than actually trying to love and make a point.
Yeah, it's like,
just hate and get away with it.
Yeah, like, dude, chill. I mean, it's all been posted, but I replied to only one person who said, I'm unfollowing you, and it was a long message of sorts, and I spoke with her actually, because she actually came from a respectful place. She wasn't like like she wasn't vicious, and I knew she was coming from a good place, and I didn't want to reply to everyone, so I just replied to her, and she actually did unfollow me. She actually did unfollow me, right? And I spoke with her, and I'm like,
and what the reason being? Your content?
Because I'm not posting anything at all, and I'm just posting my Italy trip, and it's all normal. But then I spoke with her, and I said, Meta is actually not showing content of influencers when you post it. So it's not like I didn't do it. Yeah, and I think they're very smart about it. It's because they're not showing the content, I get demotivated to post. So I won't post.
Yes.
So it's kind of a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So
that's how they work with the mind.
So it was weird. So I didn't post anything for 2 days, and I posted normal content. Suddenly shot up to more than 2K views. Suddenly.
Yeah, I don't like how this works.
And I posted again yesterday, 500. Like my husband gets more likes and views, and he has like 1,000 followers. It's mental. So the thing is, so then you get demotivated, and you only don't want to post.
See, that's
why
how
so many people are not posting.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously I'm demotivated. So I'm like, okay, the least I can do is donate, and sometimes I'll post stories. But I don't also feel like, to be very honest, because it's like Meta is blocking you.
Yeah.
So it's quite a shit situation.
So you've spoken about how your family has been through with you, through all your support, right? Your mom, your husband, and it's so nice to see you, and your love story with Jake.
Thanks.
So can you take us through that? Because you've spoken about a lot of shitty relationships you've been through, and the disastrous boyfriends you've had before. So how did you find Jake? And going on to more positive topics.
Oh my God. I've had shitty exes. It's been terrible. And I think I lost faith in love. Like anyone would, right? If you
so
have
did you go
bad
to Deepika
experiences.
Padukone and just, chew
No, you know what happened? Actually, Jake and I knew of each other since school.
Since school? So you went to school together?
No, so he was in another school. He was in Millennium. I was in Gems Modern Academy, Modern High School. Yeah. So we knew of each other, and I knew all his friends. Because inter-school, competitions, and there's this macadamia, there's tuitions, and all
you
these...
always had an eye out for him.
No, but I knew of him and he knew of me.
Yeah.
That's it. So we never spoke with each other. We think we met at some paintball thing, but we don't know because there are no pictures to prove at that time, right? But then what happened was, fast forward, he went to uni, I went to uni, I was in Dubai, he was in India.
So it's not like you spoke or
Nothing.
No communication between you
Nothing,
guys.
but he knew of me and I knew of him. And we knew each other's friends as well. But for some reason, our paths never crossed.
Okay.
Then fast forward to our first jobs. This was 2016.
But then you wouldn't have thought of him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was, he was
guy.
dating someone else and I was dating someone else. So in 2016, our first job, so, oh God, this is, I don't know how much can I talk about this, but I'll try to cut it short. So he went to a dentist appointment and I just got my mechanical engineering job. And he goes to only one dentist.
Okay.
But for some reason at the clinic, his dentist was not available, so another one took over. And that person happened to be my mom's childhood friend.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what happened was I got the job. So he said he was looking for a job to her. You know how you just talk like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And all of that. And she told him to apply to the company I got a job at.
Oh, okay, so it was destined.
It was so cute. Yeah. It was so cute. It was so weird, right? It was so like,
did he reach out to you?
No, he didn't. No, he just applied to the job.
Okay, and he got the job.
Yeah, he didn't know it was Naomi. Like he didn't know it was me. It was just like a friendly. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, she worked here. Oh, yeah. Like she didn't mention my name. Nothing.
Okay.
Then when he applied and he got an internship, so he got the job. Then he realized, oh, it was probably me. So then that's how we met.
Okay.
Like we actually met 2016. And then that's how we're like, oh yeah, like modern eye, millennium, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he was dating someone else and I was dating someone else. So then we mutually broke off. He left the job. I left the job because that's when I moved to tech. He moved as well. And then we mutually broke off. Our relationships didn't work. They were not great. And then
your relationships with the other
it didn't work. And then
you left the job.
We left the job, and then we finally got back with each other in terms of like we just reacquainted ourselves. You know, we went out as in these tastings. You know, we went out and then we suddenly met each other. And then long story short, we felt a spark, you know, and then it started from there. Literally started from there, and then we started dating like a month into us being rekindled in like our friendship.
So it was very natural.
It was very, very, very natural.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was.
So how do you feel the culture differences
of both our cultures?
Yeah. And you're close enough. You're in Mangalore. He's in Kerala.
Yeah. So he was raised. No, I mean he's considered to be like from Bombay, but although originally from Kerala.
Okay.
I feel obviously our families are quite different. You know, his family is quite religious, and they're very introverted, I would say. My family is quite introverted. We are loud. Yeah. You know, we express everything. Like, come hug me. I
just love your mom as well.
Yeah, we make jokes. We make fun.
Okay.
You know, we judge. Right? We judge. And we're just outgoing. We're out there. We're quite loud.
Okay.
But I think it balances out. Because I feel if I
also,
married...
we see that between you and Jake as well.
Yeah, if I married someone like me, I think we would kill each other. So I think it really balances out because when I'm going crazy at work or when I'm just hyperactive, he just knows how to calm me down, and vice versa. You know, when I'm like, dude, you're too chill, like, you know, like amp it up a bit. Like, can I hear you? Like louder, please.
Yeah.
You know, so he teaches me patience, and I teach him something. You don't need. You need to have patience. Yeah. Just be quick, like.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we balance each other out, but we're like polar opposites.
Yeah, in many ways, like in a lot of cases, the opposites attract.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So that's the same case with me and my husband as well.
Yeah,
but I think he's finally come around to being a little more active now.
Yeah, so he's getting there. So I think fast forward 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Wow, so you dated for...
So we dated for
the families
4 years.
Okay, being Kerala.
Yeah, it was all... Initially, it was some teething issues because I am Catholic and he's Orthodox.
Okay.
So, but I mean, we both are still Christians. We still believe in Jesus. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Not that much of a problem.
Yeah, it just did raise an eyebrow of sorts, and he is 6 months younger to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So obviously, in an ideal world, you know, they want an older guy for the woman. I was telling my dad, this is not buildabarbie.com, you know, like.
Exactly.
There is no ideal situation.
Like,
yeah, next time I'm like, you know, I meet a guy fallen down. Oh, okay, how old are you? Okay, cool. Oh, where are you from? Okay. So
it doesn't quite work.
Yeah,
like
I feel that's from both parties, you know, and I'm not that religious, you know, in comparison to his family. So I think it did raise few eyebrows, but it's not like, oh my God, like.
Here.
Yeah, so it's not like it's so bad. Like, you know, we both are good people. We both connected well. And I think our parents obviously liked that. So there were no issues as such, except a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we dated for like 3 years. And we've been married for almost 3 years now in Jan. And we were engaged for like a year. So it's been like, 7 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have you been to Kerala?
Oh God, yeah.
I don't like the oh God, yeah.
I think I haven't. I think, oh my God, no hate, okay? No, I feel I haven't explored the good parts of Kerala. Let's just put it that way.
Where did you go to in Kerala?
I went to Trivandrum.
Okay.
Oh God, now guys, not like I'm saying Trivandrum is shit. I'm just saying that. Imagine now all hate comments tomorrow. Not saying it shit. I'm just saying I have seen like the greenery part of Kerala, the water.
Yeah.
Forgot the term for it. Like
the backwaters?
Yeah, the backwaters, yes.
I mean, that's the...
So I haven't been there.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. I haven't.
You have to be like...
I have only seen Trivandrum.
The city.
Yeah, because Jake's parents are in India. So when we go visit him, sometimes we have limited day offs, like from work, right? So we meet them and like we come back. So I'm saying I haven't explored enough of Kerala.
That is why she doesn't like Kerala yet.
As much as I want to. So I am from Mangalore as well. And there's nothing to do in Mangalore. Like more than 2-3 days, like there is nothing to do. So like
I think there is a lot to explore in Kerala if you were to stay a little longer.
That's what. So I told Jake that, you know, maybe next time when we go, like we should, because and even his granny at that time was very old. So when we have to go, we obviously have to spend time with them, you know. So we can't just leave and like explore Kerala. So that has never happened. So I want to do that, and everyone keeps saying
food?
I love Kerala food.
Yeah,
I love
how
Paragon.
You were having your Paragon. It's Paragon.
Paragon? I thought it's Paragon.
No, it's Calicut Paragon.
Paragon, my entire team, like 90% are Mallus, right? So my mom is like, you're just destined to be with Mallus. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's a thing. Like, it's just automatically, I'm just hiring and liking the people from Kerala. My husband is from Kerala. My mom is like, is that a thing? Like, is that a thing? And I'm like, maybe. And I'm like having Satya with the spoon, and they're so offended. They're like, ew, you're so disgusting. You know, like, this is like Upshagun. So, so like, I do want to explore more of Kerala, and maybe we will. But it's just that the last few times we went to Kerala was only there, and it was only, you know, at their house, and we would go to some restaurants. We really enjoyed the restaurants, but it's like, I do definitely want to see more.
Inshallah. And then you will like Kerala.
Exactly.
And if you love Jake, then you should like Kerala.
Look, I love nature. I love anything to do with nature. So I love those nature-risk areas in India. So that's what I want to do.
Excellent. Inshallah. So now let's move on to a quick take segment. I love this segment when I get to rattle my guest. So quick answers.
Oh God.
Yeah. So on a scale of 10, how easy is it being married to a Malayali?
Listen, this is not a quick answer.
Okay.
He's the worst Mallu I've seen, okay? Yeah. He hates Indian. He barely likes Indian food. I eat more Kerala food than him. I order more from Paragon than him. Okay. He's the worst. He doesn't like spicy food. He doesn't eat chaat also. Like
Kerala, we don't have chaat.
No, I'm saying Indian. He's like the worst. I feel he's German or an American or something. But, so it's actually not. It's hard because
He doesn't.
I can't eat as much of the Kerala food because I could eat it every day. I could order Calicut packet. I love it. You know, the patri, the alipay chicken curry. I love it. He'll be like, oh, babe, we just had it yesterday.
So you're a better Malayali. No?
Yeah. Legit, I am better. I am better. So in terms of that, it's very difficult to be with him. So like 9, 10, because he doesn't enjoy it as much as me, I would say.
Okay. So I think she's redeeming from her. Like,
I truly love everything. Yeah.
So between you and Jake, who says sorry first?
Jake.
See, that's the good thing about being married to quite a guy. They get to think and they come back with their faults, right?
I mean, it is most of the time his mistake anyway.
I like that.
He's gonna hate it if it's something.
It's not you.
Yeah.
So when was that one moment you realized Jake's the one? Like that look or that palette kind of moment?
Dude, the day one where I said we need to date, I can't get this flirting shit.
So you proposed him first?
I didn't say, hey, like, we need to date. He wanted to take, so he's patient, quiet.
Yeah, he takes his time.
Wanted to take more time to figure out if I should, if we should start dating. Because it was just, I mean, in his defense, it was just 1 week, 2 weeks, right? But I said, I cannot.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I said, I cannot flirt and shit. I don't want to. Like, either we date or, this is. But at that time, I told him that when we were friends as well, just few weeks before, I said, the next guy I date, I want to marry him.
Oh, you told him?
Yeah. So
was that a hint? Were you manifesting
knew,
something?
Yeah, so he knew at that time, like I told my best friend as well, I said, I want to marry this guy. So actually day one, because I was so close to him even at work, I was like, there's something about him. So I always wanted a guy like him. And I've told Jake as well. So if I get him only, it's...
why compromise?
Yeah, exactly.
So look for someone like him.
So he actually knew day one. Yeah, he said maybe I should have left the car at that time. He's like, that was so scary. He's like, if you would have told this... if you would have told this to any guy, they would run away, right? Oh, I want to marry you. And we're not even dating. So yeah, it was me who told him. But yeah.
What is your tip to be a perfect partner?
Oh God, this is difficult. Patience.
Do you have enough of it?
No. I don't. Learning.
That's a tip you can give.
Yeah, you said give a tip. I gave tip. I'm not saying I do it. I'm not saying I do. Guys have patience. Patience is virtue. I think patience, but one thing I actually always do is I always keep date nights alive.
Okay, that's very
I always have date nights.
That is one thing I'd agree with.
Sometimes it's a little too much, and I say this relationship is alive and sparky because of me.
Yeah.
Right? Not you. Me.
Yeah.
So I keep date nights alive. It's very important for me.
I think more than patience, I think that is going to help any relationship.
And even like whenever we go, I tell him...
There are times when I go on these date nights, I'm like, what do we talk about? But then once you get there, it's very
I just talk about random shit, you can talk about wood.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then even like, I consider all our travels as a honeymoon. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, wow.
Right? So I'm like,
still you
it
have
should
kids.
always be cute.
Then it's what I want.
Okay.
That's a task.
Thanks for that advice from your side.
Yes.
But yeah, I think date nights, keeping it alive.
Yeah.
So he has to do something every few months. Then I have to do it, and he needs to make breakfast for me because I love breakfast. And then he'll ask stuff from me. So it's always keeping it childish
and keeping the spark alive.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, so shifting gears, what irks you the most on social media?
Oh, people being fake. I've met people in real life and they're not how they are on social media. So I'm like, what's with this
Facade.
Yeah, like why are you like two-faced? Yeah, it just gives me like the cringe. And like some people, I've heard them bitch about someone. But when I meet them at events and everything, they are like, oh, hi. And I'm just like, oh, God.
They always.
That just like ekes me a bit.
Yeah. So I was speaking to someone else, my last guest, and he was also saying the same, that, you see all this on social media, the moment the camera or the phone is off, they're a completely different person.
They are. So it's just really
and that is coming
annoying.
from an influencer herself.
Yeah, it's just really annoying because look, it's not like everyone loves me, and of course, no one loves everybody, which is okay. But I think if everyone loves if everyone loves me, that means I'm fake. That's how I take it.
Yes,
like
true.
because I'm real, you can see if I'm frustrated, because some people will call me fake and like a bitch or whatever because they've done something bad to me and I'm supposed to be okay.
Yeah, and you're supposed to
Obviously
just
I'll
take it,
push
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Obviously I'll push back, and then I'm suddenly a bad person. Okay, if that makes me a bad person, fine. But I'm saying that at least doesn't make me fake. Like, you
Yeah.
run over me and I'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just because
You're
you're
no
paying me
Gandhiji,
or whatever.
yeah. There's no
I'm not
Gandhiji.
Gandhiji, Yeah, like you slap right cheek, I'll give you my left also.
Not
Like,
happening.
no, not happening here. So I think that is just,
Yeah. So what is something you believe in most people disagree with?
Hey, this is a tough one. I think one thing that first comes to my head is follow your gut, even if some people think it's wrong. Because I feel starting a business as well is something that I wanted to do earlier. And many people told me to leave my blog when I was working at IBM and Publicis. They said you can't do both and you can't succeed in both.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing that comes to my head. Like, I really followed my gut feeling and I'm quite stubborn. I do what I want.
Yeah.
But
also, I think having that blog gave you this exposure. I mean, it gave you the ideas to start.
Like, my
your own
business
company.
is also the way it is because of my blog, and it's given me so much exposure. Like, I can figure out people's personalities and body language by speaking with them, know. So the thing is, I feel following your gut feeling, that intuition is so solid, because only you will have that.
Take it from the heart and not always the mind.
Yeah, because even your mom sometimes can't give it to you, or even your partner sometimes can't give it to you, because it's your intuition, it's your gut feeling. Yeah.
Okay, so how has your priorities changed from when you first began your career to now?
The priorities. I think my priorities are still the same. Like, the main goal is still, obviously be successful, do the right things, help businesses grow while helping myself grow and my team. So I think the biggest difference from then and now is now that I have a full-fledged team. Wow. So I'm not only taking care of myself, I feel like a mom with
all these
kids.
careers that you're taking care of.
Yeah, because the thing is, I strongly believe, like, deep down in my heart, that people who work with me, I want them to be successful with me, and I'm not just saying it from a monetary front. I'm also saying it from all the accolades and brands they worked with that goes under their sleeve.
Yeah.
So it's very important for me. So for me, it's not like, just business profits. That's actually not something that's usually in my mind. Like, profits is like that profit. I do, like, I ensure I give it to them as well, from bonuses or whatever. Yeah. But, like, I take it very personally that I want everyone to grow with me. I'm very picky as well with who I choose, because I'm quite selfish that way.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah. Because they're helping you grow as well. So
exactly.
It's a whole
I take that very personally.
So what is Naomi's superpower?
My intuition. I feel it's quite solid, and my husband would not believe me for the longest time about
your intuition.
Yeah, my intuition and, like, my gut feeling. And I think it just solidified so much. So, like, sometimes I feel it is like a superpower, because things that I say actually does happen.
Wow, do you have...
And I predict it. So, like, about me and my life. So I have predicted so many things in, like, 2019, 2020 that I told my mom it will happen in, like, 2-3 years, for example, And I also told her one day, like, I will, like, start a business and something, like, it's personal, but I told her this will happen, and then I'll start my business. And that is exactly what happened.
Wow.
And I said it years ago. And I also, like, told Jake in the month of March or something, that I feel something will happen in August, September-ish, where it'll be like a tough phase. But for some reason, I know that in October we will get a big opportunity. And it happened. So it's I don't speak about it until it does happen, but like,
so you were saying that something bad is going to happen in August, September, and in October it will work out well. Wow.
Yeah. So in 2019 as well, like, when
like you're giving the exact months and dates.
So COVID as well, when it happened, obviously it was difficult for everyone, but I had literally said it to mom, like, this will happen, like it's going to be really bad and disastrous for me. Yeah, like I can just predict stuff again about me. Like Jake sometimes goes like, "Oh, tell me about myself." Like, no, it doesn't ask you. No, it doesn't work that way.
Ask you, like, what do you think about me?
No, it really doesn't work that way. But I feel my intuition, I think it's just intuition. It's a mixture, my intuition, my gut feeling, and manifestation. It's just, again, I regard that as very powerful, and probably because of the manifestation, the intuition works. I don't know.
Yes.
But even some people who come into my life, and my mom is actually better than me. Because I have noticed sometimes if someone comes into my life, she'll go like, okay, in 3 years, this is not gonna this thing. Or for example, one of my ex-boyfriends, she's like, okay, he's going to do this. And it's very specific, like he will do this, and at that time when you just start dating him, you're like, oh no, I love him. Like,
you just blind to every other form.
I think I get it from mom, but I think my intuition and even multitasking, I personally don't think anyone can multitask like me. Maybe I've never come across anyone, but I know so many people. I don't think so, because the way I've multitasked my way through is something that's very, very difficult, and I honestly pat my back for what I do and how I do it. But intuition, gut feeling.
Awesome. So, and Naomi, like, you've done social media, you've done tech, you've had your own company, you're a boss woman. So what is next for Naomi?
I want to get an office.
Okay.
I want to get an office.
That's a small
it's
goal.
such a simple, small thing. I just want to get an office. Because we didn't know how fast the company would grow, touch wood. Because I got the license when COVID was just getting out, like 1.5 years ago-ish. So I want to get an office. That's my next goal.
Okay.
And obviously, needless to say, I want the company to become extremely successful, which I know it will.
Inshallah. Do you know any month?
Good one. No.
So, I briefly, before leaving, you also did reality TV. Do you see yourself on TV anymore?
Maybe.
Yeah, because, there's another guest of mine who's now on a very popular show in India.
Which one? Temptation Island?
Yes,
Nidhi? Nidhi is coming. No, Jake and I were discussing it, obviously, because we were watching it. Jake and I were discussing it, and I was like, Jake, what are you doing? He's like, no way. No way. So I was saying, maybe I would, but he's like, no
Don't
way.
even.
So I think it depends. If it's something related to me, maybe it depends what it is, right?
You cannot, push Jake into
but
it.
Jake, oh my God, no. If it's both of us, the answer is no.
No, but then there are many other shows that would, not necessarily to go in as a couple, but you see yourself.
But they want drama. Because I've been in one and I've seen it. I've seen what happens behind the scenes.
How was it working on that show?
It was really good, but obviously they may ask you some questions and obviously about mother-in-laws and things like that. No, it's not scripted at all. But I'm saying the way they ask the questions could bring that out, right? And again, my mother-in-law is amazing. Jake's mom is she's so sweet. I mean, she won't say anything in order to say anything bad even, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I don't have anything against her, but I'm saying sometimes the way the questions are twisted and turned, there could be something that comes
just fishing for the drama.
There could be something that comes out, but again, there's no hate in my heart for her that anything would come out. I mean, casual banter there may be here and there, but it's nothing that So
it is tricky. I mean, when you get onto reality TV, it's tricky.
Because the camera is there. So even if you're frustrated,
be careful how you pass the message.
Even if you're frustrated, even if you say anything wrong, only that part may be taken.
Yeah, and that is blown into a whole conversation.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think because there was no controversy, I think it's not like it flourished or became a huge thing. But Say Yes to the Dress was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice opportunity to be on screen. And that's what, like you said, you love doing media anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, thank you so much, Naomi. It was a lovely conversation. I had so much fun. 3 years later, finally getting to talk to you.
We'll talk again 3 years. Joking.
There she's manifested something for me. But I wish you to continue doing the amazing stuff that you do, and don't not get affected by any of the negative comments, because I, as a follower of yours for so many years, I enjoy your content and love that all the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.